Sound of Falling, new German period drama directed by Mascha Schilinski, originally titled In die Sonne schauen, which literally would translate to Staring at the Sun. The plot, well, that's the difficult part because there isn't really any. The film switches back and forth between four different characters, all of them women, all of them from different generations of the same family, living in the same East German farmhouse at different periods of time. One is at the beginning of the 20th century, before the First World War. The second one takes place in the 1940s. The third one is in 1980s during times of the Iron Curtain. And finally, the last one is modern day. And the movie focuses on exploring the lives of these women through the hardships and trauma they experience, the dashed hopes and limited joys they hope to find in life, and the ultimate sadness permeating all of those generations. It's been described as a combination of styles of Terrence Malick and David Lynch, which I definitely agree with, but I would also add Peter Weir's Picnic at Hanging Rock to this mixture. It's a very dreamy, hazy, unfocused, and emotion driven picture. It requires an enormous amount of patience from its audience. Its runtime is 2 hours, 35 minutes, but honestly, it felt like a 4 hour movie because of its pacing. There is no plot, the scenes are incredibly slow and often have limited dialogue. And I think it probably asks for too much of that patience. I found it exhausting and depressing, and in the end, failed to connect with it on an emotional level. Now, I will admit I'm not a fan of either Malick or Lynch, not my preferred type of cinema. I prefer movies more on the cerebral side than ones which are indirect and focused on emotions. I'd rather understand a movie than feel it, if that makes sense. I struggle to get into those sometimes, and I really struggled here. I recognized that there are some interesting ideas in the film, the cycle of abuse throughout the years, the observations on roles of women in society, the meditations on death and suicide. I liked the repeated motifs that echo through the generations, the characters pretending to be other people, the various warm objects held to the people's skins, and perhaps most importantly, the visual motive of a character being blurred in a photograph because they moved when it was being taken. I thought that was put into a fantastically impressive use towards the end of the film. I also appreciated how the movie looks. Again, it all has a very dreamlike quality, often grainy, blurred, soft, with washed colors and things out of focus. It is very, very pretty to look at. There's also a song called Strange by Anna von Hauswolf. It's used several times during the movie, and it's absolutely great and really sets the mood perfectly. But yes, I didn't particularly engage with the film in the end. It tired me out and felt largely like a glacially slow festival of depression. It isn't a bad film, quite the contrary. I think it is rather good at what it sets out to do, but it isn't a good film for me personally. And I suspect a lot of other people might bounce off of it just the way I did.